Ladies and gentlemen, Her
Excellency,
the Most Honourable Lady Allen.
This is the first for their Excellencies in this capacity. Having been sworn in February, this would be their first Heroes' Day Awards function. And so Lady Allen makes her way, escorted by Deputy Commissioner of Police Javine Bent, who herself will be honored here today. And so we prepare. We're looking now at the Governor General's flag, or standard, as some may call it, atop the flag staff. The moment the Governor General is announced and makes his way into the parade ground area, then that flag or standard will be broken out, signaling his arrival. Mr. Siaga is out this morning, and so too several others who've served this country well. He's with his wife, the Most Honorable Carla Siaga. And so, His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, escorted by the Chief of Defence Staff
His
and his
Excellency,
ADC.
the Most Honourable Sir Patrick Allen, Member of the Order of the Nation, Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, Member of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander. The Governor General is escorted to the presentation platform by the Chief of Defence Staff, Jamaica Defence Force, attended by Major R.F. Johnson, Acting Commander Officer, 2nd Battalion, the Jamaica Regiment, and Lieutenant Senior Grade Delando Correa, ADC to the Governor General.
The Royal Salute will be accorded the Governor General. The color ensign, or the Queen's color. If you look at that, you'll see that it is not the Jamaican flag, although the national flag of Jamaica is the background of this Queen's color. The central design is a maroon-colored circlet containing the Roman numeral 2, suggesting that this is a 2nd Battalion. And now we have the Guard Commander moving up to the dais, and he's asking of His Excellency, Your Excellency, the Guard of Honor furnished by the 2nd Battalion Jamaica Regiment is formed up in open order with bayonets fixed, awaiting your inspection, sir. You have to accept my word for it that this is indeed what he has said. Major Harold Wilson, the Chief of Defence Staff, Major Ron Johnson, the Acting Commanding Officer of the 2nd Battalion Jamaica Regiment, and in the white, the ADC to the Governor General, Lieutenant Senior Grade Delando Correa. First for this Governor General, I wonder what's going through his mind. He looks as if he's taking it quite seriously. as he looks at these men of the 2nd Battalion Jamaica Regiment outfitted in their scarlet tunics and their yellow and maroon diced cap bands. A relatively cool morning on the grounds of King's House. The skies covered with clouds, but not the threatening kind. We are preparing to honor over 100 men and women who have given sterling contribution to the building of this nation. Regiment band playing the music for the inspection of the Guard of Honor. And you would recognize that very popular Jamaican folk song. Bandmaster of the Jamaica Regiment Band, Warrant Officer Class 1 James Norman. And the Jamaica Regiment Band has the assistance of the Corps of Drums of the 2nd Battalion here today as well. Persons have come from across the seas to be part of this occasion, to support family and friends. And that one is Mama Lukti, Lignum Vitae. And so the Guard Commander kisses his sword. The inspection is over. The Governor General will return to the saluting dais, flanked by the commanding officer, acting commanding officer, his ADC, and of course the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Stuart Saunders. And again the Royal Salute, which is our national anthem. This morning's coverage is a collaborative effort. Your television station is working in conjunction with the Jamaica Information Service. And so we work together, GIS and, of course, your television station, to bring you this important coverage. And the Governor General now makes his way to the tent, where he will be seated next to his wife. And across the aisle from him is the Prime Minister and his wife. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we prepare ourselves for what will be a splendid morning, I have no doubt. If we keep our eyes fixed to the Guard of Honor, as they prepare themselves for the march off, the Guard of Honor signifies soldiers in formation performing a military exercise to honor public figures or visiting foreign dignitaries. So we're going to be seeing the Guard of Honor realigning themselves for the march off. Beautiful morning. You can't hear much of what is being said, but the Guard Commander and persons such as the Parade Regimental Officer, Warrant Officer Class 1, Gary Rowe, the Right Guard, Warrant Officer Class 2, Mr. Lorne, and Staff Sergeant Dixon are all involved in this operation here at this moment. But of course our Guard Commander is Harold Wilson, Major Harold Wilson. Eyes front. Smartly snapped into position the SLRs. Green colors, regimental colors on display. And so to the music of the Jamaica Regiment Band and the corps of drums of the 2nd Battalion. It's a quick march from the parade ground. Look at those feet, everyone in unison. These men of the Jamaica Defense Force and women who are now taking up their position as the markers, smartly in position across from the saluting dais and midway between the tent for the recipients and the grounds. As we look at the members of the JDF, remember that just recently their poppy appeal was launched, and this year they decided to keep the amount as the same as they did last year, given the harsh economic realities. So they are hoping to $4.3 million, and they will be most happy if you made your contribution.
And with effect from the 19th of October 2009, in respect of the following recipient, Mr. Usain St. Leo Bolt, Member of the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander,
and
for outstanding performance in the field of athletics at the international level.
The applause has started even before the orator, Erica Allen, could complete what she had to say. Olympic and world champion Usain St. Leo Bolt, the world's fastest man and current holder of the world's records for both 100 meters and 200 meters. He's the youngest ever recipient of the Order of Jamaica. He's smiling, known for his vivacious personality, his charisma, and passion. The Trelawney native and lover of yam. Oh, yes. The first man in Olympic history to break the 100-meter and 200-meter world records at the 2008 Beijing. He did that, Summer Olympics. And he's continued his record-breaking streak at the World Athletics Championships in Berlin, Germany, with new world record times of 9.58 seconds in the 100-meter dash and 19.19 seconds in 200 meters. Just look at him. phrase or content, what you're saying.
Major General Stuart Saunders, aide-de-camp, for distinguished service to the Jamaica Defence Force.
Major General Stuart Saunders has served in the Jamaica Defence Force since 1973. He is currently the Chief of Defence Staff, and his wide-ranging expertise in the area of regional security apparatus, and locally he has lent that expertise to academia at the University of the West Indies. Among his previous awards are the Medal of Honor for Meritorious Service in May 1991 and the Medal of Honor for General Service in Grenada in 1986.
Colonel Anthony Bertram Anderson, for loyal and dedicated service to the Jamaica Defence Force.
Colonel Anthony Anderson has given 25 years of dedicated and faithful service to the Jamaica Defence Force, and he's held several positions, including Commanding Officer for the JDF Air Wing. Colonel Anderson is currently the Deputy Chief of Defence Staff and has responsibility for administration, long-term force policy, and the strategic direction of the force.
He's one of those members of the JDF who, they're always so polite, but he has an extra charm about him, if you ask me.
Mr. Derek Clifton Harriott, for contribution to the Jamaican music industry.
Just look at Derek and blowing kisses as only Derek will and could. Derek Harriott, singer and record producer, began his career as a member of a group called Jiving Juniors in 1958. In 1962, Derek Harriott produced his first solo, I Care, followed by many other hits including What Can I Do?, The Jerk, and I'm Only Human, all of which were included on his debut album. Mr. Harriott has been a successful producer for decades. Remember King Tubby? Okay, and 1970 Swing Magazine's top producer for that? That's Derek.
Mrs. Ione Isilma Ramsey Nelson, for dedicated service to the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Superintendent Ione Ramsey Nelson, married to Ken Nelson, enlisted in the Jamaica Constabulary Force at the age of 18 and made history in 1977 when she became the first female police motorcycle cop, and made history when I interviewed her. That was the first time she ever did an interview. She was also the first woman to have risen above the rank of corporal in the traffic division and the first woman to head the traffic section of the police force in the corporate area. Her elevation through the ranks of the police force over the years, from acting corporal in 75 to superintendent in 99, has been regarded as meteoric.
His Excellency the Governor General, acting in accordance with the provisions of the National Honours and Awards Act, has been pleased, on the advice of the Prime Minister, to award the Badge of Honour to the following persons with effect from the 6th of August 2009. Mr. Colin Anthony Foster, for his courage in saving the life of his bedridden great-grandmother when the house was completely destroyed by fire on December 6, 2006.
Well, this young man lived with his parents, his great-grandmother, and other siblings on December 6, 2006, when Colin was alone with his great-grandmother and brother, and he put her to bed. He saw fire coming from the roof of their house. Then he was only 10 years old, and the grandmother was bedridden, who had a leg amputated, and he took her to safety. He also returned to the house and retrieved the wheelchair. The house was destroyed. The family lost all its possessions, but no one was injured, thanks to Colin's brave efforts. He looks a little scared this morning, but he was very brave then.
Mr. Orrit Barrington Williams, for his courage in attempting to save the lives of 3 boys who were drowning in the sea behind the old sardine factory in early 2008.
And the old
Mr. Williams tried desperately, but was only able to save the lives of 2 of the boys because a 3rd boy was too far out.
For his courage in attempting to save the lives of 3 boys who were drowning in the sea behind the old sardine factory, which is on Marcus Garvey Drive in Kingston, in early 2008, Mr. Williams received this award of gallantry. Only 16 years old at the time, and aware that this was a dangerous area in which to swim, Mr. Williams still tried desperately and was able to save 2 of the boys. Well done.
Mrs. Julia Elena Cop Mendoza, for dedicated service to teaching the Spanish language and culture to Jamaican students.
This is Mrs. Julia Elena Mendoza, native of Peru. She's dedicated 33 years of her life to teaching Spanish as a second language to non-native speakers in Jamaica. Operating on the philosophy that teaching is easier when there is a love for it, she's shown commitment and dedication beyond the classroom and has served public, private, and international entities, as well as the diplomatic corps, towards the promotion of the Spanish language and culture in Jamaica.
Miss Barbara Beckford for long and faithful service as a tour guide highlighting Devon House as a part of Jamaican heritage.
I can't see clearly, but I'm certain that's a bandana that she's used for the cutwork embroidery at the top, and this is a splendid dress. Wow, using Jamaica's national fabric. Miss Beckford's diverse skills as teacher, trainer, dancer, tour guide, culture and history enthusiast has led her to give 27 years of unprecedented service to the Devon House Development Company. During this time, she's hosted many dignitaries, including monarchs and heads of state, displaying the greatest level of professionalism and warm Jamaican hospitality. Look at that bandana outfit, with the cutwork embroidery at the bodice, the sleeves, and the hem. I believe we're going to be taking a short break in the handing out of these honors and awards and bring you some music. The group that's coming to perform at this time is now known as a Spirit of Elegance. Well, if you're just joining us, or if you've been listening, you know that we are here at King's House on the grounds of King's House for the ceremony of investiture and presentation of national honors and awards for 2009. Over 100 persons are being acknowledged, being recognized this morning. And so we see our Governor General making his way back to the platform where the awards are being presented. The Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Stuart Saunders, is also with him, so too his ADC, Lieutenant Delanda Corral, and Deputy Commissioner of Police, Javine Bent, deputizing for the Commissioner of Police. All persons assisting with the presentations make their way back. The markers are in place, and the recipients are also getting into position. The still photographers, amazing.
His Excellency, the Governor General, acting in accordance with the provisions of the relevant regulations made under Section 7 of the National Honors and Awards Act, has been pleased to award the Medal of Honor with effect from the 25th of May, 2009, to the following members of the uniformed services. Lance Corporal Oral Anthony Pinnock. Lance Corporal Oral Anthony Pinnock was deployed as part of a joint JDF and JCF operation in St. Catherine on the 26th of May 2008 to locate and apprehend 2 persons suspected of involvement in the murder of 2 policemen that had occurred some 3 days earlier. Whilst clearing a room, Lance Corporal Pinnock was fired on by a man who was in hiding there. Lance Corporal Pinnock's brave reaction and courage while under fire on that morning saved the lives of his teammates and resulted in the recovery of a firearm previously stolen from one of the slain policemen. Lance Corporal Pinnock was mortally wounded during the attack. The award will be collected by his brother, Mr. Mervyn Pinnock.
On Monday, May 26, 2008, Lance Corporal Oral Pinnock, while under fire in the line of duty, risked his life in order to save the lives of his colleagues. He's receiving the Medal of Honor for gallantry. His brother is receiving the medal on his behalf.
Lieutenant Colonel Gary Spencer Rowe.
A member of the Jamaica Defense Force for 22 years, Lieutenant Colonel Gary Spencer Rowe is currently the commanding officer of the Combat Support Battalion. He's receiving the honor for meritorious service.
Lieutenant Commander David Chin Fong.
Lieutenant Commander David Patrick Chin Fong is currently second in command at the Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard, having served the force for 18 years.
Thank you, Alva. These men and women of uniform have given outstanding service to this country.
Major Brian Orlando Crary.
Major Brian Orlando Crary has served the Jamaica Defense Force for 14 years. He is currently commanding officer of the Jamaica Military Aviation School. These recognitions are for meritorious service in this segment of the program.
Major Radcliffe George Daly.
Major Radcliffe George Daly, 3rd Battalion Jamaica Regiment, has given 18 years of loyal, faithful and dedicated service to the Jamaica Defense Force. He has served in several positions including platoon commander and company commander of the 3rd Battalion, also known as the National Reserve. You can tell by the green uniform, the green tunic, that that's the National Reserve or the 3rd Battalion.
Major Courtney Dave Dunkley.
Major Courtney Dave Dunkley has been a member of the Jamaica Defense Force for 20 years. He's held several appointments including platoon commander and military transport officer.
Major Rohan Floyd Johnson.
Major Rohan Floyd Johnson is currently a company commander of the 1st Battalion, the Jamaica Regiment. He has served the JDF for 17 years.
Major Donovan Patrick Charles Lewis.
Ex-Major Donovan Patrick Charles Lewis served the Jamaica Defense Force from October 1992 until his retirement in 2002. Giving loyal, faithful and dedicated service throughout his tenure, he held several positions including commanding officer of the 1st Battalion of the Jamaica Regiment and training officer of the military training wing.
Major Nigel Clive St. Paul Neal.
And Major Nigel Clyde St. Paul Neal has given 24 years of dedicated service to the Jamaica Defense Force. He is presently the officer commanding Delta Company.
Having a little word with the Governor General.
Major Orley Andrew Powell.
Major Orley Andrew Powell is currently employed at the headquarters of the Jamaica Defense Force, having given 15 years of dedicated service to the force.
It's getting a bit humid as we sit on the lawns of King's House for this ceremony of investiture and presentation of national honors and awards for 2009. Hardly a wind.
Major Carlington John Reed.
Major Carlington John Reed has served the Jamaica Defense Force for 13 years. He's held several appointments including platoon commander. He's also a pilot instructor.
Major Winston William Walcott.
Major Winston William Walcott, a member of the Jamaica Defense Force, has served for 20 years in many positions, including company commander of the 3rd Battalion. He has also acted as commanding officer of the 3rd Battalion, or the National Reserve, on a number of occasions. That's Major Winston William Walcott.
Warrant Officer Class 1, Lawrence Alfonso Bailey.
Warrant Officer Class 1 has his chairing party, Lawrence Alfonso Bailey. He's been a loyal and dedicated member of the Jamaica Defense Force for 29 years. He served in several capacities, including rifleman, platoon sergeant, and physical training instructor.
Warrant Officer Class 1, Maxwell Barrington Cold Spring.
Warrant Officer Class 1 Maxwell Barrington Cold Spring has served continuously in the Jamaica Defense Force for 28 years. He's currently the Regulating Master Chief in the Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard.
Warrant Officer Class 1, Carol Ann Duncan.
Warrant Officer Class 1 Carol Duncan is currently employed as Chief Clerk with responsibility for all clerical matters. She deals with staff welfare, discipline and guidance. Warrant Officer Duncan has served the Jamaica Defense Force for 23 years.
Isn't she smart?
Warrant Officer Class 1, Darrell Cardoval Forrester.
Warrant Officer Class 1 Darrell Forrester has been a member of the Jamaica Defense Force for 29 years, serving faithfully in several capacities, inclusive of Section Commander and Platoon Sergeant. He is currently employed as Regimental Sergeant Major in the Jamaica Defense Air Wing.
Warrant Officer Class 1, Errol Sylvester Harriott.
Warrant Officer Class 1 Errol Harriott has served the Jamaica Defense Force for 33 years and has held various appointments, including Air Traffic Controller and Intelligence Specialist. He's been employed at the headquarters of the Jamaica Defense Force since 2004.
Thanks, Alvin. My position is that every young Jamaican should spend at least 2 years in our defense force. Some people are not in favor of that, but I am.
Warrant Officer Class 1, David Matthias Hunter.
Warrant Officer Class 1 David Hunter is currently employed as a clerk in the military stores in the Jamaica Defense Logistics Company and has given 35 years of loyal, dedicated service to the force. He served in various capacities, including that of training instructor and section commander. And this should bring the end of the meritorious awards to members of the Jamaica Defense Force. The next category in the uniformed groups will be members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.